This, they decided, must be the ruler of their valley. And so for 700 years the rotten trolls have been guarding the valley until Roger Wazir, whatever he or it might be, returns to take them all back to Norway. Now, Troller's Gill is very beautiful. It starts in the Storith's Wood at one end and carves its rocky way up the side of a hill until it peters out a mile further on at the site of a dangerous, derelict old mineshaft. The only problem with this beautiful valley, however, is that down that mineshaft lives one of the most terrifying creatures known to mankind. Way down the murky underground caverns of the abandoned coal mine is the lair of the Barjest. A vicious dog the size of a horse, with teeth as big as your hand and eyes the size of dinner plates. Every full moon, the Barjest emerges from its tunnel and stalks down the valley looking for food. It eats anything, and many trolls have been dragged off screaming and kicking down into the tunnels, never to emerge again. Nowadays, no rotten troll who values his life sets foot outside the cave on a full moon. They all sit, shaking with fear, as the strange, screeching howls of the Barjest echo round the desolate valley. Roger Beckett knew nothing of the mysterious grisly secrets of Troller's Gill. He was just 8 years old, and for his last birthday he had been given a 5-speed racer with special curved handlebars and a strange plastic thing attached to the back wheel. Where Roger lived, there was no room to do any cycling, so he had come up to spend the summer holidays at his grandma's house in Appletreewick. One sunny afternoon, he set off on a long bike ride around the Dales. He only got as far as the other side of Appletreewick, however, when the road forked off in 2 different directions. The signpost pointing to the right read, Skyreholme, 1 mile, and pointing to the left it read, Don't go this way. That road meandered off out of sight between the hills and looked by far the most interesting of the two to Roger. He got back on his bicycle and rode off down the dusty track. At the end of the road, Roger got off his bike, opened the gate with Troller's Gill, no entry at all, carved into it, and walked nervously towards the valley. The warm wind rustled the oak trees behind him, but otherwise there was not a sound. The valley looked dark and lifeless to Roger, but of course he could not see the pair of tiny eyes watching from behind a rock. As usual, Jokenthwaite was the rotten troll on guard this afternoon. He was always very eager to help, and so the other rotten trolls were happy to let him stand guard all the time. He was just about to nip out and tie Roger's shoelaces together when he stopped dead. Roger, standing at the very entrance to the gill, had decided to shout his name up the valley to see what the echo was like. Roger! 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 His name bounced off every single rock and scuttled off up the gill. Jokenthwaite just stared at the stranger. It can't be, he breathed, swallowing in a big gulp. Roger! Roger! Shouted Roger again. The echo was so long that Roger decided it was a little too frightening to venture up alone and turned to leave. Then suddenly he turned back and shouted, Roger was here! Then, more quietly, so there. Why he said that, we will never know. He was probably just showing off. But whatever the reason, the fact was that he shouted up the valley the very name which the rotten trolls had been waiting 700 years to hear. And it's me who found him! Me! Me! Shouted Jokenthwaite. I've done something right at last!